Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And we're continuing today with Immunity, Chapter 9. The only Surah in all Koran without Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And we will start with verse 21, I believe. 21. Oh, okay, no, it's not 21, it's 23. O believers, make not friends of your fathers or your brethren, if they love unbelief above faith, and whoso of you shall make them his friends will be wrongdoers. Say, if your fathers and your sons and your brethren and your wives and your kindred, and the wealth which ye have gained, and merchandise which ye fear may be unsold, and dwellings wherein ye delight, be dearer to you than God and his apostle, and efforts on his path, then wait for God, until God shall himself enter on his work, and God guideth not the impious. Okay, God brings about his decision. Okay, yeah, that sounds... So the jihad and fisabilillah, oh, wait, is that not the verb form? So remember that the three things, God, the prophet of the age, and the jihad and fisabilillah should be loved more than the three types of material things, and the 5 closest circles of relationship. You're in the wrong for that. Now hath God helped you in many battlefields, and on the day of Hunain, when ye prided yourselves on your numbers, but it availed you nothing, and the earth with all its breadth became too strait for you. Then turned ye your backs in flight, and did God send down his spirit of repose upon his apostle and upon the faithful, and he sent down the hosts which ye saw not, and he punished the infidels. This the infidels' reward. Yet after this will God be turned to whom he pleaseth, for God is gracious, merciful. O believers, only they who join gods with God are unclean. Let them not therefore enter after this year. Come near the sacred temple, and if ye fear want, God, if he please, will enrich you of his abundance, for God is knowing, wise. Make war on such of those to whom the scriptures have been given as believe not in God, are in the last day, and whoso forbid not which God and his apostle hath forbidden, and who profess not the profession of truth until they pay tribute out of hand, and they be humbled. The Jews say, Ezra is the Son of God, and the Christians say, the Messiah is the Son of God. Such is the sayings in their mouths. They resemble the saying of the infidels of old. God do battle with them, how they are misguided. So, some of these things we need to look at and say, does it say all? Does it say all of them say this? No, it doesn't say all of them say this. Of course, the definition of being Christian is worshiping Jesus somehow. But preceding this verse about making war on people, we're talking about armies have been being sent. Before that, the battlefield, more and more. So it's not just some claim that, oh, you better fight the people who don't believe the same way as you do. No, that was never practiced. And everybody knew that's not what it meant. There was someone saying that it was not good, misguided. They take their teachers and their monks and the Messiah, the Son of Mary, for lords besides God, though bidden to worship one God only. There is no God but He, far from His glory. Will be what they associate with Him. Fain would they put out God's light with their mouths, but God only desireth to perfect His light, albeit the infidels abhor it. He it is who hath sent His apostle with the guidance and a religion of the truth, that He may make it victorious over every other religion, albeit they who assign partners to God be adverse from it. O believers of a truth, many of the teachers and monks do devour man's substance in vanity and turn them from the way of God. But to those who treasure up gold and silver and expend it not in the way of God, announce tidings of a grievous torment. So again, the required alms. They're not to pay salaries for people leading prayers and all that, and it's not the people leading prayers and the religious scholars that decide right from wrong. If you disagree with my findings, fine, that's up to you. Even if it's right, it's still up to you for you to believe and practice as you will. Rulers of truth and teachers not without necessity vanity. God, stir up gold and silver, expend it not in the way of God, and lost tidings and very strong. On that day there shall be heated up in hellfire, and their foreheads and their sides and their backs shall be branded with them. This is for what ye have treasured up for yourselves. Taste therefore your treasures. And there's also a reference elsewhere in the narration about how certain sins, unlawful touching and stuff like that, can, if the scales tip against you, it can be like being branded in the fire of hell with, so don't act in ways that aren't right and you'll be fine.
On that day there shall be heated in hellfire, and their foreheads and their sides and their backs shall be branded with them. This is for what ye have treasured up for yourselves. Taste therefore your treasures.
12 months is the number of months with God, according to God's book, since the day which He created the heavens and the earth. Of these 4 are sacred. 1, 7, 11, 12. This is the right usage, but wrong not yourselves therein. Attack those who join gods with God in all, as they attack you in all. And know that God is with those who fear Him. To carry over a sacred month to another is only a growth of infidelity. The infidels are led in error by it. They allow it 1 year and forbid it another, that they may make good the number of months which God hath hallowed. And they allow that which God hath prohibited. The evil of their deeds hath been prepared for them, for God guideth not the people who do not believe. And still to this day, there's people who consider month 2 to be unfortunate and try to skip it or delay it. There's people in their calendars that have leap months. People try to make Ramadan 29 days when it's 30 most years. They try to make the sacred months 30. There are some areas where it's almost always 30, more than is actually the case based on observation. But so there's still people playing with the months for some odd reason. People has been prepared for them, for God guideth not them, but people who do not believe. Oh, O believers, what possessed you, that when it was said to you, march forth on the way of God, ye sank heavily earthwards? What prefer ye, the life of this world to the next? But the fruition of this mundane life, in respect of that which is to come, is but little, unless ye march forth. With a grievous chastisement will he chastise you, and he will place another people in your stead, and ye shall in no way harm him, for over everything is God potent. If he assist not, God assisted him formerly, when the unbelievers drove him forth in company with the second only, when they two were in the cave, when the prophet said to his companion, "Be not distressed," Abu Bakr. Verily God is with us, and God sent down his tranquility upon him, and strengthened him with host ye saw not, and made the word of those who believed not the abase, and the word of God was the exalted. For God is mighty, wise. March ye forth, the light and heavy, and contend with your substance, and your persons in the way of God. This, if ye know it, will be better for you. Had there been a near advantage and a short journey, they would certainly have followed thee, but the way seemed long to them. Yet will they swear by God, had we been able, we had surely gone forth with you. They are self-destroyers, and God knoweth that they are surely liars. God forgive thee, why didst thou give God forgive thee, why didst thou give them leave, ere they who make true excuses had become known to thee, and thou hadst known the liars? They who believe in God and the last day will not ask leave of thee to be exempt from contending with their substance and their persons, but God knoweth those who fear him. They only will ask leave who believe not in God and the last day, and whose hearts are full of doubts, and they are tossed up and down in their doubtings. Moreover, they had been desirous to take the field. They would have got ready for that purpose the munitions of war, but God was adverse to their marching forth, and made them laggards. And it was said, Sit ye at home with those who sit. Had they taken the field with you, they would only have added a burden to you, and have hurried about among you, stirring you up to sedition. And some there are among you who would have listened to them, and God knoweth the evildoers. Of old aimed they at sedition, and deranged thy affairs, until the truth arrived, and the behest of God became apparent. Adverse from it though they were, some of them say to thee, Allow me to remain, and expose me not to trial. Have they not fallen into a trial already?
But verily hell shall environ the infidels.
The disbelievers. If a success betide thee, it annoyeth them, but if a reverse betide thee, they say, We took our own measures before, and they turn their backs and are glad. Say nothing can befall us, but when God hath destined for us. Our liege Lord is he, and on God let the faithful trust. Say await ye us other than one of the two best things, but we await for you the infliction of a chastisement by God from himself, are at our hands. Wait ye then, we verily will wait for you. Make ye your offerings willingly, or by constraint. It cannot be accepted from you, because ye are a wicked people. And nothing hindereth the acceptance of their offerings, but that they believe not in God and his apostle, and discharge not, but with sluggishness, and make not offerings, but with reluctance. Let not therefore their riches or their children amaze thee. God is only mindful to punish them by means of these in this life present, and that their souls may depart while they are unbelievers. And they swear by God that they are in need of you, yet they are not of you, but they are people who are afraid of you. If they find a place of refuge or caves or a hiding place, they assuredly turn towards it in haste. Some of them also defame thee in regard to the alms, yet if a part of them be given them, they are content, but if no part be given them, behold, they are angry. Would that they were satisfied with that which God and his apostle had given them, and would say, God suffice us, God will vouchsafe them unto us of his favor, and so will his apostle. Verily unto God do we make our suit, but alms are only to the poor and the needy, and those who collect them, and to those whose hearts are won to Islam, and for ransoms, and for debtors, and for the cause of God and the wayfarer. This is ordinance from God, and God is knowing wise. So Sadaqah, the any good cause, but the required alms is not something that goes towards building a masajid or something like this. It's to take care of the poor purely. There are some of them who injure the prophet and say, he is all ear. Say an ear of good for you. He believeth in God and believeth the believers, and is a mercy to such of you as believe. And they who injure the apostle of God shall suffer a dolorous chastisement. And they swear to you by God to please you, but worthy is God and his apostle, that if they should please him, if they are believers, know they not, that for him who opposeth God and his apostle is surely
the fire of hell,
in which he shall remain forever. This is the great ignominy. The hypocrites are afraid lest a surah be set down concerning them, to tell them plainly what is in their hearts. Say, scoff ye, but God will bring to light that which ye are afraid of. And if thou question them, they will surely say, we were only discoursing and jesting. Say, what do ye scoff at God and his signs and his apostle? Make no excuse. From faith have ye passed infidelity. If we forgive some of you, we will punish others, for that they have been evildoers. I forget exactly where, but somewhere in this surah, Muhammad sent someone off. I forget who it was at the moment. Then he sent Ali off with the entire surah here. And I believe the earliest copy of this, of Surah 9, is supposed to be in Ali's hand. It's not a complete Quran, but that's what's said about this manuscript that dates from the life of the Prophet. No excuses of faith if you're past infidelity. If you forgive some, you will punish others. Hypocritical men and women imitate one another, and they enjoin what is evil and forbid what is just, and shut up their hands. And they have forgotten God, and he hath forgotten them. Verily the hypocrites are the perverse doers. God promised the hypocritical men and women and the unbelievers
the fire of hell, therein they shall abide. This their sufficing portion, and God hath cursed them, and no lasting torment shall be theirs.
Ye act like those who flourish before you. Mightier were they than you in prowess, and more abundant in wealth and children, and they enjoyed their portion. So ye also enjoy your portion, as they who were before you enjoyed theirs, and ye hold discourses like their discourses. These made their works both for this world and for that which is to come. These they are the lost ones. Hath not the history reached them of those who were before them, of the people of Noah, and of Ad, and of Thamud, and of the people of Abraham, and of the inhabitants of Madian, and of the overthrown cities? And their apostles came to them with clear proofs. God would not deal wrongly by them, but they dealt wrongly by themselves. The faithful of both sexes are mutual friends. They enjoin what is just and forbid what is evil. They observe prayer and pay the legal impost, and they obey God and his apostle. On these will God have mercy. Verily God is mighty, wise. To the faithful, both men and women, God promiseth gardens neath which the rivers flow, in which they shall abide, and goodly mansions in the gardens of Eden. But best of all will be God's good pleasure in them. This will be the great bliss. O prophet, contend against the infidels and the hypocrites, and be rigorous with them.
Hell shall be their dwelling place, wretched the journey thither.
They swear by God that they said no such thing, yet spake they the word of infidelity, and from Muslim. Okay, whatever. The actual case in that verse. And from Muslims became unbelievers. They planned what they could not effect, and they only disproved because God and his apostle had enriched them by his bounty. If they repent, it will be better for them. But if they fall back into their sin, with a grievous chastisement will God chastise them in this world and in the next, and on earth they shall have neither friend nor protector. Some there are of them who made this agreement with God: if truly he give us of his bounties, we will surely give alms, and surely be of the righteous. Yet when he had vouchsafed them of his bounty, they became covetous thereof, and turned their backs, and withdrew afar off. So he caused hypocrisy to take its turn in their hearts, until the day on which they shall meet him. For that they failed their promise to God, and for that they were liars. Know they not that God knoweth their secrets, and their private talk, and that God knoweth the secret things? They who traduce some of the faithful as give their alms, and scoff at them, God shall scoff at them, and theirs is a grievous torment for them. Ask thou forgiveness for them, or ask it not? If thou ask forgiveness for them 70 times, God will by no means forgive them. This for that they believe not in God and the apostle and his apostle, and God guideth not the ungodly people. They who were left at home were delighted to stay behind God's apostle, and were averse from contending with their riches and their person. And were adverse from contending with their riches and their persons for the cause of God, and said, March not out in the heat. Say,
a fiercer heat will be the fire of hell.
Would that they understood this. Little therefore let them laugh, and much let them weep, as the meat of their doings. If God bring thee back to some of them, and they ask thy leave to take the field, say, by no means shall ye ever take the field with me, and by no means shall ye fight an enemy with me. Ye were well pleased to sit at home at the first crisis. Sit ye home.